Hey all, Pastor Jeremy here. Looking forward to tomorrow. I hope you'll join us for the last sermon in our basically year-long series on the moral teachings of Jesus. Anytime Jesus talks about his ethics, about how he expects his followers to live in the world, we've slowed down and paid close attention. I hope that it's been as enjoyable for you guys as it has been for me. I've had a blast. And I think it's produced some good stuff, some really good conversations. Shout out to Joanne Maddox's class that meets downstairs on Sunday mornings that has been having further conversation about each of these sermons. Very, very cool. Tomorrow will be in the last one. Remember, last week we ended up at the temple. My last sermon, that's 2 weeks ago. We ended up at the temple. So Jesus is still in the Jerusalem temple. He's occupying that space. He's driven out those who have corrupted it, and now he's using it for its true purpose. But this has enraged all of his opponents. The temple was the center of Jewish power right there in the Judean capital. It's one of the few places that they didn't feel like they worked for the Romans. The Sadducees' power is tied up there. The Pharisees' theology is tied up there. The Herodians' power is tied up there. The Essenes' main quarrel is about the temple. The Zealots have it as one of their symbols that they hold up to give them courage to fight their invaders. All of these people hate Jesus, by the way. And now there he is, right in the middle of all of it. There's Jesus. And so his opponents, they send some spies. The Bible uses the language of spies. They send spies in to trap Jesus because they want to force him to say something that will either make his people abandon him or make the Romans crucify him. And so they come to Jesus with something of a trick question. They ask, do we have to pay taxes to our Roman oppressors? Is that God's will? Is that what we're supposed to be doing? You must know. You speak the truth of God plainly. You teach with authority. People here seem to think you're some kind of Messiah. You must know the answer to this one. And if he says yes, pay taxes, he might lose this following, these Hosanna shouters that marched into the city just a few days ago. They might all abandon him. And if he says no, don't pay taxes, well, the Romans have cross-shaped opinions on what to do with people who don't pay their taxes. So it seems like a tricky moment for Jesus, and he turns the trap around on them. And in doing so, tells us something about how we're to live in the world. I'm excited about this one. I'm also really excited because after the service, we will be gathering downstairs in the fellowship hall for our Friendsgiving. Please bring a lunch item to share. It's not going to be fancy, but it's going to be good. You guys know how to potluck. This is also a good Sunday to invite some friends. This is a good Sunday to come to church if you haven't been in a while, too. Our potlucks are a great time to jump back into the rhythm of community at North Hills. Also, we'll be doing an activity together where we will remember the story of North Hills, and that'll help us launch 2026's big conversation around what do we want to do and who do we want to be next. Please participate in these when you can. Folks, tomorrow's going to be really special. I look forward to seeing you there. Grace and peace.